Today, I'm going to be explaining to you guys why I think Miami Hurricane quarterback Cam Ward is easily the best quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft over Shedeur Sanders. Today, we're going to be going over my full scouting reports on both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and why I think Ward is far and away the best QB in the 2025 NFL Draft class. Welcome into the show, guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button here at NFL Draft by Chat Sports. We're going to be putting out extensive videos on this year's draft class every single day this spring, getting you guys ready for the big day in Green Bay. So make sure you click that subscribe button for in-depth draft coverage every single day from us here at Chat Sports. So first here, let's talk about Cam Ward and my thoughts on him after I've gone over his film here in 2024 with the Miami Hurricanes. And obviously he went from Wazoo to the Hurricanes this year, and he really put on a show this year. He was a Heisman finalist. He did a lot of really good things as a playmaker, out of structure, and there's a lot of things to like on Cam Ward's film, in my opinion. But to be clear here, before we get into the scouting reports, I genuinely want both of these quarterbacks, and honestly, every quarterback in this class to succeed. I'm not rooting for any of these guys to fail, and I'm hoping that all of these guys go into the right situations for them, fit-wise, scheme-wise, all that stuff, and I'm hoping that they have success in the National Football League. Today is simply my opinion and my analysis of what they put on film in their college careers. All right, so with that in mind, let's start with the negatives that I have on Cam Ward. And honestly, guys, none of these things are major concerns for me in terms of him being a starting quarterback in the NFL. I do think that he has a little bit limited arm strength, all right? Like, he can still drive the football down the field in terms of line drive passes, all these different things. But when it comes to making the truly special, elite of the elite type throws, the kind of throws that Mahomes and Allen and Justin Herbert and all the top arm talent guys can make, Cam Ward isn't necessarily capable of making those types of throws. It is an NFL arm. It is something that he can cut through the wind if needed. He can drive that throw down the field to all levels of the field. But it's not something where it's like he has a howitzer of an arm. Number two, he doesn't have high-end accuracy, all right? It's not like he's absolutely on target all the time to every level of the field. He has his misses, and you're going to have those misses every single game on film with Cam Ward, whether it's short, intermediate, or long. He does have those accuracy inconsistencies, which are slightly concerning, and then he can be too aggressive at times. In terms of throwing the balls into tight windows. He had a pretty high turnover-worthy play percentage with the Hurricanes last year, and sometimes he does get a bit carried away, and he kind of makes throws that his arms simply can't cash because he just doesn't have the arm strength to make those kinds of throws. But like I said, guys, nothing seriously concerning here. To me, it's not like he has like big-time Desmond Ridder level accuracy issues at the position. His accuracy's fine, all right? It's not like he's like a Tua Tagovailoa pinpoint accuracy every time, all right? So that's why I list that as one of the negatives here. But at the end of the day, it's still accurate enough, still has the arm strength to be an NFL quarterback, so it's not super concerning to me. So the things that I like about Cam Ward and on his film, I think he does have an NFL arm like we talked about. His release is legitimately very fast, very fluid. You can throw it from multiple arm angles and platforms with accuracy and pace, which is something I really like. I like his ability to go through a mental progression multiple times on his film this year. He got to his second or third read across the formation. NFL teams are going to really like that. He throws with anticipation. That's something that, if you have a limited NFL arm like Cam Ward has, I think that you have to be able to throw with anticipation. He shows that on his film. He can throw with touch to all levels of the field, and he's a plus rusher that can get out there and give a little bit of wiggle as a rusher. He's not a dynamic rusher by any stretch of the imagination, but he can be creative with his legs. And then when it comes to the things that I love and the things that I think can make him a really good NFL starting quarterback, number one, he's got super high-end pocket presence. He can feel the pressure. He knows when to step up, when to get out of the pocket, and then when he's out of the pocket and he's actually using his legs as a playmaker, whether with his legs or with his arm, he's got incredible instincts out there. He's got great vision to find open receivers down the field while he's moving. He can throw on the run, off platform, even sidearm type throws. He's got a very kind of unconventional, super sidearmy type of throw. So in my opinion, when it comes to Cam Ward here, guys, he's not the most special quarterback prospect I've ever seen. We certainly got spoiled last year with Williams, Daniels, and May. Cam Ward isn't close to any of those quarterback prospects, in my opinion, but he has a chance to be a very fun and very good starting quarterback in the National Football League in the right offense and with the right fit around him. And my pro comp for him is actually Tony Romo, somebody that also kind of had a little bit of an unconventional release, somebody that was very good out of structure, somebody with really good pocket presence, maybe a little bit of an NFL arm, not an elite NFL arm, right? But he had a very long NFL career, and I think that Cam Ward has a lot of the same positives and limitations that Tony Romo brought to the table as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So my grade on Cam Ward is he's the only quarterback in this class that I would spend a top 10 pick on. With his ability to sense pressure, maneuver the pocket correctly, and then, his playmaking ability out in space, I think really does give him a pretty decent ceiling, but also his ability to mentally process defenses, anticipate open windows, all these different things. And the fact that he does have an NFL arm tells me that he can be fine within structure as well. So if I'm the Tennessee Titans, man, I got Will Levis as my starting quarterback right now. Personally, I am taking Cam Ward number 1 overall. Now, Cam Ward's not as special as some of the other QB1s we've seen go number 1 in recent drafts, but I do think that if you need a quarterback, man, you got to go out and get a guy. And I think Cam Ward is somebody that could very well be a franchise-level quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. They don't have one right now, and if you don't have one, you got to go get one. This is the only one I think that is in this draft class, or at least somebody that I think has a really good chance to be one. So if I'm Tennessee, I'm pulling the trigger for Cam Ward. But discuss it below. Should the Tennessee Titans make Cam Ward the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft? Give me a yes or a no for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by giving me a yes or a no. And coming up here, we're going to be getting into Shedeur Sanders, why I have a late first-round grade on Sanders and why I put him in a slightly different category as Cam Ward at this point in the draft process. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Game Time, which is the best place for you to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do, guys, is go into an event you want to go see on the Game Time app. You select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen, and the app automatically filters their entire database of tickets to find you the best tickets with the best prices and the best views so that you and your family can get the best deals on any ticket you get to any live event. Also, it cuts out a ton of research time, so Game Time does the research for you so you can always get the best deals on any ticket. What I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, so you don't have to have any other ticketing apps on your phone. With Game Time, it's the lowest price guarantee. Also, all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you guys can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the event. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, now let's dive into Shedeur Sanders here, because for me, I do have a distinction between Cam Ward at number 1 and then Shedeur Sanders at number 2 in terms of this year's quarterback class. So let's start with the things that I like about Shedeur Sanders here, okay? I think he's got super sound upper body mechanics. He gets the ball out relatively quickly as well. And then when it comes to Shedeur, I think that he is somebody that has really good upper body mechanics. You can tell he's very well coached. You can tell that it's some people say it's a little robotic, but honestly, it's just super clean throwing mechanics. The good accuracy is something that is well touted on his film to all areas of the field. He can put the ball on people very consistently, and he gives people a chance to make plays on the football. And something that I'm really impressed by with Shedeur is throwing on the run. I actually think that he's more accurate on the run than Cam Ward is, all right? Like, that's one of the benefits of his game is that he's pretty darn good when he's outside the pocket and he's playing out of structure on the run. His pocket presence is pretty decent, especially when pressure gets in his face early. He had to play behind a pretty bad offensive line there with the Buffaloes in his 2 years at Colorado, and you can tell he's really learned how to manage pressure, get away from rushers, and that's going to be something that benefits him. The playmaking instincts are certainly there when he's outside of structure, and then he is a plus rusher. I'm not going to say, he definitely doesn't look like Deion's son out there running the rock, or it's not like he's an athletic freak, but he is a plus rusher that can run the football when asked to. But I have two major concerns when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Number one, he has a very limited arm, all right? And we talked about Cam Ward earlier in this video and how he has some limitations to his arm, or there's certain throws and certain clubs that he doesn't have in his bag. Shedeur Sanders is even more limited in his arm strength. All right, like there's going to be a number of throws at the NFL level that Shedeur just isn't going to be able to cash, especially down the field into tight windows. And he pairs that with very, very little anticipation. Shedeur Sanders threw a lot of RPOs, lots of screens, not a lot of true anticipatory type throws where he's throwing the football before his receiver breaks open. And if you're mixing poor arm strength with poor anticipation in terms of NFL standards, those two things do not mix, right? That's going to lead to a lot of interceptions. That's going to lead to being late with the football a lot. That's going to lead to a lot of bad things that you do not want for your offense within structure once Shedeur Sanders gets to the NFL. So what he's going to need to do is he's going to have to develop into an elite mental processor and somebody that can throw with some really, really good anticipation. Somebody like a Brock Purdy, somebody that doesn't have great arm strength, but he gets the ball out on time and with anticipation, so he hits his guys when they need to be hit. Shedeur Sanders struggles with that at times, and that's why I have major concerns about his prospects as an NFL starting quarterback. Also, in terms of his physical profile, I don't see a whole lot of special here. All right, I see somebody with a pretty decent physical profile. He's got a somewhat NFL arm. It'd probably be a bottom 10 NFL starting caliber arm if he becomes a starter right away. But it's good enough, I guess. But, anticipation's not special. Mental processing's not special. He's not a special runner of the football. I just don't see a whole lot here that tells me that Shedeur Sanders can be a superstar level quarterback unless he develops in some of these other areas. And, I think that he has work to do to be even considered a starting caliber quarterback in the league. I think he might need to sit a year to really develop his play style to an NFL offense. And then even then, I think that he's going to be limited because of his limited physical skill set. All right. So I like to say, guys, some quarterbacks are trucks. Some guys are trailers. All right. I think I took that from Daniel Jeremiah. This guy is a trailer at best. All right. So if I'm going to take a quarterback in the top 10, I want that quarterback to be able to be worth $60+ million on his second contract. I just don't know if Shedeur Sanders is ever going to be that valuable of an NFL quarterback. My pro comp for him is Teddy Bridgewater, who got taken with the final pick of the first round by the Minnesota Vikings in his draft. That's kind of where I kind of see Shedeur Sanders, kind of late first, early second round. And then I think best case scenario here, Shedeur Sanders goes to a team with a great roster and he ends up being like someone like Jalen Hurts. All right, now Jalen, I think, is stronger than Shedeur. I think that he's a better rusher of the football than Shedeur is, but kind of similar skill sets. Both of those guys like to play out of structure on the run. They're both very good playmakers out in space. So I think the best case scenario for Shedeur Sanders is if he goes to a team with a great roster like the Eagles and can play the game like Jalen Hurts is able to play the game there in Philadelphia. And my take here, guys, is that I think that a team will eventually take Shedeur Sanders in the top 10. I might have a late first round grade on him, but you guys know how it works, man. If you don't have a quarterback, there's a lot of pressure to take one, especially if you have a top 10 draft pick. And I think right now the New York Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders are doing a lot of research and diving into Shedeur Sanders right now. So if what I suggested earlier happens, and let's say Tennessee takes Cam Ward, I think that Shedeur Sanders ends up going to either New York or to Las Vegas, most likely the Raiders, in my opinion, at this point in the process. And that's probably the way the draft is going to fall. So you tell me. Let me know down there in the comments section. Does Shedeur Sanders deserve to be a top 10 draft pick in this year's NFL draft? Type D if you would draft him in the top 10, or type P if you would pass on him. For me personally, for a top 10 selection, I'm typing my P for pass. Thank you guys so much for watching the NFL Draft Channel here on Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Make sure you go follow me at Jack_Sperry for more NFL Draft content. And don't forget to click that subscribe button because we got extensive NFL Draft content for free right here on YouTube every single day. So until next time, guys, peace.